lot of creators think that in order to get more subscribers and get people to stick around and watch more of their content, that they need to ask for subscribers. This is probably one of the most common questions that we get. But I think that we kind of have a maybe offbeat opinion about this one in our space, and not even just an opinion, a lot of results-driven opinion, a data-driven opinion as to why maybe this isn't the best thing for your channel and what you could be doing that is way more impactful to help you actually get the growth and the subscribers that you're looking for. So that's what we're going to talk about today.
Welcome to the Video Creators Podcast. We help YouTube creators grow their audience and business with next-level tactics and strategies. Want to accelerate your channel's momentum, be more profitable, and change the lives of more people than ever before? You're in the right place. The Video Creators team has over a decade of experience providing YouTube strategy for brands like Disney, Warner Brothers, HBO, and even YouTube themselves. So far, our team is responsible for helping clients generate over 17 billion views on YouTube. And now, to help you, here's Tim, Lennon, and Delana.
Hello, creators. Welcome back to another Video Creators Podcast episode, where every week we aim to give you next level tactics so that you can grow your audience on YouTube, grow your business so that you can reach people and change their lives. So, Tim, what's the most interesting thing that's happened to you this week?
Okay. All right. You asked.
Or we should say over the past week.
I'm out on my front porch and it's a really nice day outside. I'm watching the kids play. The sales lady is over. We're thinking about getting solar in our house. So we had the solar person over and my two twin daughters run up really excited. And I'm like, I had to turn my attention to them, and they're covered in mud, just covered in mud. And I'm like, wow. And the solar person was just like, wow, like, really dirty. And I'm like, where'd you find all that mud? They're like, oh, we made it. And I'm like, you made the mud. How did you make the mud? They're like, well, we got the chicken poop and we mixed water with it and it turned into mud like this. And I'm like, oh no. I'm like, no, it doesn't turn into mud. Yes, it does. Look, it's mud. They're like 6 years old, 7 years old. Right. I should know this. They're 6. And so the solar lady, I think, almost like threw up in her back of her throat a little bit. Like, no, if you mix water and chicken poop, it does not turn into mud. But
my gosh.
We took baths and showers and cleaned up and everything. But yeah, most interesting. You asked, there it is. So it's been been an interesting week for sure. So how are you doing, Delana?
Pretty good. I am sore again from my personal trainer in different areas this time. So that's been an interesting week. I'm actually sore on my butt. And so everywhere that I sit hurts so bad. It's the worst.
Well, I have a standing desk. I'm standing right now because I feel like I stay alert better and more energy. So
I have never thought about getting a standing desk more than I have over the past couple of days.
Did you know that you burn 10 times more calories at a standing desk than you do sitting?
Yes, because you sent a video, you posted it in Slack, like, I think a couple years ago.
Oh yeah, for our team Slack.
Yeah, and I watched it, and that was like burned into my brain, and I still haven't gotten a standing desk.
That's why I bought it. I actually didn't buy a standing desk. I just IKEA hacked it. It's just an cheap IKEA desk up on some bed risers, and with this pad I stand on, my elbows are at a almost perfect 90-degree angle. So it's like almost a perfect height. And then I have my monitor up on another stand so that the monitor is at the right height, so I'm not looking down or up. My neck is straight ahead. But all my back pain issues went away and everything. It was like, it's great.
Nice. I need to do that. That's like, I think one of the number one purchases. Sam and I have already talked about it. We both need new desks. He has like a desk that's like thrown together. It's like multiple different parts. And I need a standing desk. So that's on the agenda for sure. All right, so we have some common questions, the most common questions compiled here whenever it comes to asking for subscribers on YouTube. And I just wanted to bring them in and actually just ask you, Tim. I mean, we'll
Oh, this is
talk
gonna be
about
an
it
interview
together.
now.
Yeah, basically. And
Okay.
and we'll just kind of like talk about it together because I think that I want to hit like each angle of why creators feel so strongly about this and why even other educators in our niche feel strongly about this as well and why we feel differently. So the first question we have here is why shouldn't we ask for viewers to subscribe when we're trying to increase subscribers as a goal, especially so that we can hit that first 1,000 subscribers, trying to get monetized, all the stuff that goes along with that. Why not ask for subscribers if it's a goal?
So yeah, there's a bunch of questions here I can see now. Now that I'm looking at your notes, I'm like, oh, this was an interview. I should have prepped for this, but no, this will be fun. So
Yeah.
we stopped asking people to subscribe, and we're telling our clients to do that like years ago, because a couple of things we were seeing. One, we didn't see anything in people's analytics or metrics that indicated that asking people to subscribe now actually made a difference. It
Yeah.
did in the early days of YouTube when people didn't know what subscribing was. They didn't know if subscribing meant they were going to have to pay a subscription fee or what they were signing up for or how to get notified. And today, subscribing means after people got it, then subscribing meant like, oh, I want to follow more videos from this channel. But today, almost nobody goes to their subscription feed to look at like the video from every channel they're subscribed to in a reverse chronological order. Almost everyone just goes straight to the homepage or watches the suggested videos and just follows that rabbit trail. So we said, like, we saw in the data that asking people to subscribe really didn't impact anything significantly, and that instead we were like, well, what does YouTube actually want to see happen that would promote these videos? And we saw, it's like, actually, if they spend more time watching more content from the creator, that's what gets these other videos to the homepage and suggested videos. So we're like, let's focus on instead asking people to not subscribe, because today that's more like a generous like. It's not
Mm-hmm.
really, it doesn't mean much more than that today.
Yep.
So instead, like, let's get people to actually click and watch another video, and then click and watch another video. And what if we could create a library of content on our channel that got people to watch more watch time, longer session times? Would that make a difference? And absolutely it did. That's when we saw channels hitting the homepage more regularly, more likely to be suggested to those viewers. And just following them around in the places where they're already watching YouTube is far more valuable for explosive channel growth than just getting someone to passively click a little red button. So we stopped doing it. We had our clients do it. It's been years now we've been doing this, and we've seen better growth as a result.
Yeah, I have never come across I am in a lot of creators analytics on a day-to-day basis, and I have never come across a situation where I'm like, "Oh, you know what made this video take off? You gained a lot of subscribers from it." That's what it's
Yeah.
usually the other way around where it's like you gained a lot of subscribers because the video hit the right audience,
Mm-hmm.
and the creator did a good job of connecting with them and everything in between. And so, yeah, I've still to this day I don't see any of that. Why then do we hear still to this day all of the advice from other YouTube experts of asking for people to subscribe? Because I have heard, other YouTube experts say, oh, well, you want to ask them to subscribe and like and comment because if you don't, then they're not going to think about it. Like you want to bring it to their attention. So it's not like oh, this is absolutely going to make them subscribe, but it's more of like hey, just bring it to their attention type of thing.
What's the main thing you want people to do? Is it to like, comment, and subscribe? No, the main thing you want to do is whatever's going to help you grow your channel the fastest and get in front
Mm-hmm.
of the most people and stay in front of them more often. And liking, commenting, and subscribing are all positive signals, but the most positive signal is more watch time from that viewer and more videos from yours.
Mm-hmm.
So, why is that advice? So, I mean, one of it's just kind of been like a standard age old practice, which is tell the viewer exactly what you want them to do next. And most people think the thing that they want them to do next is subscribe because that's the thing they're going for. But it's a short sighted objective. It's a short-sighted goal. You can get that subscriber and still never be surfaced to them again. So it was more important for growth. It's a better signal is to get people to watch more content. So I think it's it's just, I also don't know how many other people have like access to as much data as we have in terms of coaching with them. So I think they'll catch on. They'll eventually be a broader thing, but yeah. So it'll catch on more.
So the next most common question, oh, did I start too early? I think I did. So the next most common question that we get then is, what are some practical things that I can do? If this is not how YouTube works and I've been putting my attention in the wrong place, what are some actual practical things that I can do instead to make the right viewer want to subscribe to me and stick around? Subscribe to me, not my channel.
Subscribe. Yeah. Subscribe to Delana. What can everyone do to get people to subscribe to her?
Yes.
I mean, I think really comes down to, I'd like to hear what you experienced too, Delana, but I think it really comes down to, it's more about how you make people feel and less about the depth of the information and things, but more about, do I like this person? Do I kind of feel like we could hang out? Do I feel like we could be friends? Like, oh, this person's smart, they know their stuff, but getting that emotional relational connection thing going to make a really big difference in how these, in how people want to subscribe and watch more like that. That's the thing I guess people want to keep watching. It's not the, oh my gosh, the information was so amazingly accurate and detailed. It was more like, and that might be important for a lot of things, but it's that connection part. So that's what we focus on with our clients, and helping people develop their primal branding elements, their storytelling elements, the things that make it easy for people to feel something and not just understand something.
I totally agree. I mean, coming down to the storytelling elements and stuff like that. And if you haven't heard of Primal Branding, by the way, it's a book by Patrick Hanlon. And it goes over like the 7 elements of what is our primal nature and how do we connect with that? Because that is like, if you go and you see on any platform, anybody that's growing, they usually have those primal branding elements in play. I don't even want to say usually. I want to say they have those.
It's impossible for them not to if they're growing.
Yes. Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
you can have maybe not all 7 of them. You could have a couple
Yeah.
really strong ones and get some traction, but when you got all 7, it's unstoppable.
Yes, 100%. And I think that those are absolutely some of the most practical principles that you can learn between storytelling and primal branding that will give you that connection, give the viewer that feeling like, "Oh my gosh, I really like this person." Like to your point, I don't know how many times I've thought about my favorite creators on YouTube where I'm like, if I met them in real life, we would be really good friends. I know we would be. And that's how you want to make people feel. Like there should be enough of you in the content and enough of those human elements in play that people can connect with you in that way. I wanted to particularly go over some of the things that we've seen in our own clients' data. Now, I'm not going to share their names because I want to share their numbers and I want to keep that private. But we do have several of these instances where it's like, okay, we talk about this stuff all the time where we are like, oh, don't call to subscribers, it's hurting your channel. And calling to subscribers is not like directly hurting your channel. It's not like if you ask for subscribers, all of a sudden your views are going to go down, but it hurts your channel in the way that it is a missed opportunity to do more. And I think anything that keeps your focus in the wrong place is hurting your channel. And so that's why we brought this down to stop asking for subscribers, stop putting your focus in those areas because it's hurting your channel and it's not helping it. And so I wanted to go over just some really practical data with you guys because I just thought it would be cool and fun to share and maybe even inspiring for you to be like, oh, okay, if I don't do these things, then my channel is going to be totally fine. My channel is not going to crash and burn, because I know that sometimes whenever we make habits out of doing something, we start to feel like those habits are the things that are upholding any amount of growth that we've gotten. And the fact of the matter is that there's probably a lot of those things that can be let go and you can hone in on the things that actually matter. So some data that we have from 3 different creators of ours, and this is just 3 examples of something that we see across clients' data that we work with every single day. So first one was one of our clients had a video, 500,000 views on the video. They gained 9,000 subscribers from it, which is a really good subscriber conversion. And they did not do a call to action to subscribe in that video. 500,000 views, nearly 10,000 subscribers just from that 500,000 views, and no call to action to subscribe. They did not at any point in the video ask the viewer to subscribe. We had another client of ours that had 1.7 million views on a video, and they gained 17.5 thousand subscribers from that video. And again, no call to action to subscribe. That video was about some of their personal story, and they really brought viewers into that story, and they got a really good subscriber conversion from that 1.7 million views. So again, they just made the viewer feel something, and they got a really, really good return of it. So this is where removing your focus from little tactical things like just asking somebody to subscribe is much less impactful than just making the viewer feel something in your content. Last one I have for you as an example is we had a creator we were working with that got 6 million views on a video while they were working with us, and they gained 51,000 subscribers from that one video. And you guessed it, not one call to action to subscribe. Not at the beginning, not in the middle, and not at the end. Nowhere in that video did they ask the viewers to subscribe to their channel. They just did. That was a reaction video, by the way. And they did a really, really great job of making the viewer feel something. They felt entertained. They felt opinionated. They felt like they learned something. All of those things came into play. And, they saw a huge return from the 6 million views. They got 51,000 subscribers and no call to action to subscribe, not to mention all the likes and the comments that they got on it. But that is big results without ever having to ask anybody to subscribe. This week for our Creator Spotlight could not be a more perfect Creator Spotlight for this episode. I'd like to introduce you to Mike Greiner, who has a channel called The Democratic Activist. Mike has been struggling with feeling like he puts, as well as he puts it, like he was speaking to a camera and nobody else. And because he was struggling to get views and subscribers and that he knew he could get on YouTube, he was then able to join our program Video Labs, and he got to work with Luke, who you're going to hear with Mike Greiner in this Creator Spotlight. He's one of the other strategists on our team. Video Labs was able to help Mike more than just overcome those struggles. He actually has blown past the goals that he had coming into this program. And I just want you guys to hear exactly how he did that.
YouTube is filled with lots of advice on growth strategy, how to crush it in your business. You start implementing little tactics here and there, and you start to see the needle move, but YouTube can be a lonely place. You will want more than just a self-paced course. You need someone to be honest with you and point out the things that you can't see. But what you really want is not just strategy, it's support that takes things to the next level. Michael Greiner has been in this place about since the middle of last year. Was it early summer you started on YouTube, Michael?
Yep, early summer.
And tell me about what you do on YouTube.
Well, the way I describe my channel to my viewers is I'm a lifelong Democratic activist who's concerned about the direction our country is taking. I'm also a lawyer and an academic, and as a result, I'm able to give my audience some ammunition they can use to kind of counter the BS that the MAGA crowd's throwing out there. So it's obviously a political channel that's very opinionated.
Sure, that's okay. So you got started. What obstacles were you bumping into? Because early fall last year, I actually joined a consultation with you. Tell me about where you were at that point.
Well, I didn't really have very many viewers or subscribers or anything like that. I spent a long time feeling like I was just speaking to the camera and nobody else. So that definitely got discouraging at times. I'd say that when we first met, I would be happy if I got a video that got 100 views. And obviously that's grown a lot since then.
It has grown a lot since then, but that really speaks to that loneliness you can feel as a creator. Is really putting in the effort and you're going, this is not landing in front of as many people as I thought it would. And then at the beginning of the year, you chose to invest and get involved with us in video labs. Now, has that served you well? Is that something that that you've gained some tools from?
Yeah, I think so. Probably one of the two tools that jumps out at me the most has been that through the process of the channel reviews, I got feedback that at the beginning of my videos, I was asking people to subscribe and like the videos, maybe even click that little bell that would notify them when I post something new. And I was told that that probably wasn't helping me. And if anything, it was really discouraging people from watching the rest of the videos. And what I found is when I got rid of that and just focused instead on my value proposition, I actually had more subscribers. My growth in subscribers actually grew faster than when I was actually asking for it, which was kind of a surprise.
You started gaining more subscribers after you just left it alone and then just focused on the value your channel provided.
That's true.
We recommend that all the time, and people don't believe me. So here we have it straight from Michael Greiner. If you focus on the value that your channel provides and actually give them valuable content in each video, when it lands for them, they're much more likely to subscribe. Now, I know because I asked you about it, you got a big jump in subscribers. Now, it was kind of a collaboration, but it sounds like you really filled in for another creator. How did that work
Yeah.
for you?
Yeah, I was really fortunate in that Jesse Dollimore, who hosts a similar channel, but with some differences. But he was in the process of moving from California to Washington, so he asked me to sit in for him for about a week and a half while he was going through that move. And he's got well over 300,000 subscribers. And what's amazing is when I went on the channel and I focused on my value proposition, as I'd learned from you folks, that I was able to get over 4,000 people to come over from Jesse Jellimore's channel and subscribe to mine. And what I found is that an overwhelming number of them continue to remain very active on my channel and really comment on it. I hear from them all the time. And the viewership that I'm getting right now among people who are subscribed is just enormous. So that's really very satisfying, actually.
It sounds like with that opportunity, and collaborations are a huge opportunity to get in front of more of your market that you hadn't quite tapped into yet. But you gained over 4,000 subscribers in a matter of a week.
That's true.
And I think
It
you're
was
right.
unbelievable.
I don't think those subscribers, you would have gained them if they didn't have a clear vision of what your value proposition was. So you effectively tapped into your target audience from another avenue and gained them. And you said that these are not just subscribers that just clicked on the channel. These are people that are actually watching and becoming involved in your comment sections and everything. These are dedicated subscribers.
They are. Yeah. We have a pretty
Wow.
active community section on my channel, and I'll see comments from people all the time there talking about how they found out about me from Jesse Dollimore and they're so grateful that they did. So that's really satisfying, I must admit.
Wow, that's awesome. Well, what else do you think you took away from Video Labs? Because we talk about a ton of elements. I mean, it's 8 weeks worth of lessons, and we're constantly like brushing up against each other, getting ideas from people. What do you think is one of those metrics that maybe you weren't focusing on before, and now that you kind of have a better grip on it, it's yielding results that you want?
Well, one that definitely had a huge impact as a result of Video Labs was the end screen element click-through rate. I got to tell you, that's something that I was completely not focused on before Video Labs, and it showed. I mean, I didn't even know it was a metric to pay attention to. And when I finally looked at it, based upon the guides I got from Video Labs, I realized that I was getting, I think, less than 1% click-through rate. I think it was like 0.7% click-through rate. So it was pretty anemic. But I just never thought about it. It just never was something that I focused my attention on.
So what you're talking about is at the end of your videos, you got the options as a creator to put the tiles up, and you got a few different options. You can ask your viewers to do anything, but you were not getting any engagements on those end screen tiles that were at the end of your videos. So
Not really. In fact, what I did is I think a lot of people do this. I just downloaded some frame that I could put up on the screen, and then automatically YouTube would put in some possible videos they might be interested in. It just seemed like something to do. I didn't realize that there was actually a strategy behind it.
Sure, but it was less than 1%, meaning if you were already looking for more viewers, it sounds like you weren't really getting them all the way through and then actually clicking on another one of your videos.
No,
So
I definitely
what did you
not.
change? You said that it was less than 1%. Video Labs taught you the importance of changing up your end screen. What did you do?
Well, for starters, I ditched kind of the standard approach. And instead, what I do now is at the end of every video, I literally will sell them on the next video. And I'm very careful. And this was really some specific guidance I got from you and Ingrid, which was to not use certain specific words that will indicate to the viewers that the video is coming to an end. So instead, what I do is literally I'll kind of launch into the next video and say, by the way, check out this. This is where you can find out more about that video, and I'll see you then. And what I've found is, as a result of this effort to literally just kind of push people right into the next video, the jump has been absolutely enormous. I mean, shocking, really, in my view.
So it was less than 1%. What's an enormous jump? I mean, if we're going to use numbers, we're at 0.6, 0.7. When you started effectively delivering calls to action to extend that watch session on your channel, what's that metric look like now?
It's not uncommon for me to get videos where I'm getting 11, 12, 13% click-through rate there.
Double digits.
It's unbelievable. Yeah. What's been funny is seeing the average going up steadily as I have more and more videos that I've taken this approach. And now I think my average is about 6%. But it just shows that having those videos that lots of people are clicking through at the end has really made a huge impact.
Yeah. Well, and what you're telling YouTube as a creator, you're saying, hey, look, I know how to get viewers into my videos, which gets them on YouTube, and how to get them into another video, which extends their watch session. I think that's a huge deal, because that's YouTube looking at a creator going, oh, wow, they really know how to keep people on our platform. That's what's important to YouTube, right? So
that's what I learned. I certainly did not know that before I took Video Labs. I can tell you that.
But the impact is clear. You go from less than 1% to at times even up to 12 and 13% with an average of 6. That's still 10 times better than it used to be, which is incredible. Now, I want to say this to you, because I noticed when I did a consultation with you in the early fall, maybe late summer of last year, everyone starts somewhere, but it looks like your videos have roughly like 5 to 10 times more views on them than they had 6 to 9 months ago. Is that true? Is that accurate?
Oh, easily. Yes. In fact, probably even more so. I mean, before we met, or about the time we met, I'd be happy if I got a video that 100 people viewed. It was not uncommon for me to get 40 or 50 views on a video. Now I'm routinely breaking 1,000 views on a video. And in fact, I just had one go up above 1,800, I think. And that was just in a couple of days. So it just shows the impact that, again, being focused on your value proposition and delivering good content that the viewers appreciate will make.
Sure. So if you were to recommend Video Labs to another creator that's struggling, trying to get their message out, do you think it's worth it?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. I mean, I guess the biggest thing I'd say about Video Labs is that when you first get involved in YouTube, it seems like I guess kind of a confusing place. You know, there's all this information out there. You don't know what works, what doesn't work. And a lot of the channels that seem to do particularly well, it seems like they do it very effortlessly. And what you learn in Video Labs is that there's actually a strategy behind it all. And you learn what the strategy is, and you learn the steps that you can take to implement that strategy. And it's really a step-by-step process that kind of removes the fog, I guess, between what you're doing and what you're trying to accomplish. And I really appreciated that, I have to say.
Awesome. I'm really glad to hear that. And so if I were to ask you, what did life as a creator look like before Video Labs, and what does it look like after? How would you describe that?
Well, I would say before Video Labs, I was really just kind of stumbling around. There's so much information out there, a lot of misinformation out there from what I now realize about how to succeed on YouTube. And a lot of information too, it's driven basically by people's own perceptions of things, which might not be driven by any kind of research. And instead, what Video Labs now has done is I feel like my channel follows the best practices, that I really understand what I need to accomplish to get the most views possible, and to get my videos in front of my audience. And that really has been a huge change. I feel much more confident, I think, now in how I'm approaching my channel.
Well, good. You should feel confident, because you're very well educated and have a lot of things that you want to share with the world. And I'm so happy that you now have this in your tool belt to make those videos go as far as possible. Check out Michael at The Democratic Activist. I'm going to leave his link in the description down below.
That's so amazing, right? He said he was getting up to a 13% click-through rate on his end screens. And even if you just think about that on a small scale, like 10% click-through rate on a video that has 1,000 views on it is 100 views to your other videos. And then if you have all of your videos making 100 views to other content on your channel, then it's like this spider web effect and it's all working together. And that's just one little piece of the puzzle. But then you get into 10,000 views and 100,000 views and how many more views that can bring to your channel just by utilizing those end screens in a really, really smart way and extending that viewing session time. It's such a powerful tactic. I use it with all of the creators that I work with. If you'd like to join a community-oriented program that will help you grow your views and subscribers, then you can sign up for Video Labs at videocreators.com/videolabs, and we hope to see you over there. Every week we like to give a power tip, which is just a bite size of information, something super practical that you can take and apply to your next video to help you grow your reach on YouTube. And today I have a quote actually from Creator Hooks, which is a weekly newsletter, and they break down creators' titles in their newsletter. So they'll take like I think it's 5 or 10 creators. I think it's 5 creators that they take and they break down a title that they used and why that title worked so well for them. And recently they released one. It might have actually been today, the day that we're filming this video, or yesterday. But they released one and I was reading over it and I was like, oh yes, this is so good. This is something that I have used with my clients in the past, but I thought that the way that they worded it was so good. And by the way, we're going to have an interview coming out with the creator of Creator Hooks, the person who writes the newsletter. So stay tuned for that episode. We will have an entire interview with him here on the podcast. But this quote that he said that I think is super practical for you guys to take and apply to your next video is he said, talking about why something is not working is a lot more interesting than talking about something that does work. So give 10 reasons. The example he gave is give 10 reasons why a popular tool or technique isn't working for your audience. So a great example is going to be this episode right here. Stop asking for subscribers. It's hurting for your channel. Rather than just titling this episode, how to get more subscribers or how to get more views or whatever, we went the opposite direction and we pushed against a narrative, and usually kind of like that negative and opinionated approach tends to result in a stronger response from the viewer, resulting in more clicks and more views on the content. So be sure to try this in your next video and let us know your results. Thank you guys for joining us again for another Video Creators Podcast episode. We always enjoy hanging out with you guys every week, and we hope to see you again next week. Bye.